So at the moment, the following rules are following. April 2021. PCR test result, no matter now from where are you coming from. Can you imagine this? But actually, if I compare this lockdown with lockdown exactly a year ago, March and April 2020, this lockdown much more better, because a year ago even hospital was not working. So they refused to help my grandma. And my favorite restriction is keep in mind borders of Ukraine remain open and Ukrainians and foreigners can travel. This information is based only on my experience and experience of my family. And actually police doesn't care much about it, and I don't know why. Basically, only pharmacies and grocery stores are open. Also cinemas, theaters, museums shut down, but I remind you, churches are still available and some hiddenly working restaurants too. So, welcome to Kyiv! Hi, my name is Tanya Fiona and it is Blonde Kyiv YouTube channel. So, in Ukraine there is lockdown again. I live in Kyiv and I'm going to tell you how it's going on right now. So, let's start. Couple days before the total lockdown, the Minister of Health and our Mayor Klitschko announced it. So, from 5th till 16th of April, we are on so-called adaptive lockdown, which might be prolonged. So, restrictions during this time are following. Food markets, cafes, bars, restaurants are closed. But the good part, the delivery and takeaway service are working. In Kyiv it is a good weather, so you can order something and stay in summer terrace, like I did a couple days ago. And I would like to share a secret with you. Some restaurants and bars are working secretly. You are not allowed to put pictures from there and to do check-in also on social medias. And you can go there with a side secret entrance before calling the manager, and she or he will let you in. So I had a tour in the city, and after that we decided to go and eat something, so it was not a problem. The same situation with some bars which work secretly behind the closed doors. And once police came and I stuck inside for an hour, but it is another story. Walking in the street is also allowed, so you can have a tour, but without visiting museums and galleries. But churches are also allowed, but with following quarantine rules. Shopping malls, entertainment center, and different shops which are not necessary are closed. Let's say I wanted to buy something for repair my home, or furniture, or something for sewing, fabrics for example. It's closed. Basically, only pharmacies and grocery stores are open. Different public events and sport events are not allowed. For example, last week Ukrainians have a big football match with Finland, and the whole stadium was empty. Also cinemas, theaters, museums shut down, but I remind you, churches are still available and some hiddenly working restaurants too. So, welcome to Kyiv! And of course, education institutes, university, school, college are closed, online education only. Kindergartens are also closed. Parents have so much fun now, especially when they have to work. Fitness centers, gyms and swimming pools are also closed. Beauty salons and hairdressers work by appointment only. Not that bad in comparison a year ago, April-March 2020. It was completely closed and there were a lot of cool jokes on internet about long hair and beards. But some people just secretly would visit a specialist at home, so there were ways to stay beautiful. But there were a lot of cases when the specialists were fined back then. People still working in their offices, but the government asks them and advised to work remotely if it's possible. Masks are required in all public places outside, but nobody is wearing them. And actually police doesn't care much about it, and I don't know why. Masks are obligatory indoors, public buildings and transport. Keep in mind borders of Ukraine remain open and Ukrainians and foreigners can travel. There are no restrictions to move on around the street, but playgrounds and sport places are forbidden to use. Hotels work, airport and railway station are also working. And my favorite restriction is public transport is closed, even metro. But actually it works only for workers of essential infrastructure with special permission, doctors and some others. So situation is like this. You see in the city a lot of empty buses, trams and a lot of disappointed people who have no idea how to get to their job places or something. For those who has no car, it's a big problem. People trying to find a ride from neighborhood to get somewhere. Taxis works, but prices for rush hours are 5 times higher. Lots of people order a cab, but the demand is high, therefore you pay more. And waiting for a cab 1 or 2 hours and stuck in traffic jam. It's just crazy. Some grocery stores and pharmacies were not open on time because people were late for work. Some people were late for medical appointment. It's just crazy. So let's say also about people who cannot work online because of the specific of the job. For instance, if you work in the shopping mall, it means that you have no work and no money support from the government. But actually, if I compare this lockdown with lockdown exactly a year ago, March and April 2020, this lockdown much more better, because a year ago even hospital was not working. Can you imagine this? From where I know, because members of my family were among the people who were not able to get a medical treatment. So it's my own personal experience. Imagine someone has a tumor and the hospital are closed, so this person has to wait when lockdown is finished. So people who were sick and need surgeries had to wait at home for very important treatments, and those who live in other cities had to wait for coming to Kyiv for surgeries. Crazy. It was like this during the all months. After hospitals were opened, I have to go to the side entrance to see a doctor and ask him what to do, because the security didn't let me in the main entrance. Even if I have a question of life and death. Seriously. Now in this lockdown the situation is different. There are surgeries going on, but the only problem is to get to appointment or consultation of the doctor. This information is based only on my experience and experience of my family. And one more crazy story which happened to me and my grandma. I take care of my grandma, and a year ago she needed help to walk, so I had to hold her to help to move. Sometimes she had issues with the heart, and we needed to do a cardiogram to see which kind of pills to get. There is a hospital near our house, so we slowly went there, and the hospital was empty because of restrictions of COVID in April 2020. No doctors there, only one at the entrance who was waiting for people with COVID symptoms. So they refused to help my grandma. And there was also a problem for us both to come inside because we were 2 people and it was not allowed. And my grandma was not able to walk alone. So it's just crazy. And in addition to that, the only one doctor there blamed me that I brought my grandma here. And overall live with her because she has to be isolated at home in order not to get sick. So it sounds like better to die from a heart attack than from COVID. So we had to call a private hospital for ambulance with cardiogram. So price for this is $100 US. And by the way, the pension of retired people of Ukraine is around $100 US per month, or even less. So like this. If you know some crazy stories in your country, please share in comments. If you have any questions about should I do a test or go to isolation when I come to Ukraine, or how to get to Ukraine in April 2020, you can check it in this web page. I will add the link in the description box of the video. The page is updated regularly by the government. So at the moment the following rules are following. April 2021. PCR test result, no matter now from where are you coming from. It's required from all foreigners. Ukrainians can show a test or choose 2 weeks of self-isolation. For foreigners, tests should be made 72 hours before arrival or less, regardless of vaccine. And by the way, medical insurance you can buy online here. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope this information will be useful for you, and I apologize for any English mistakes and pronunciation I've made. If you like my channel, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe, and also subscribe for my video updates. And I also have a Patreon. I will appreciate any support. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you. Bye.